My observation of the suspects who were in the house. Mrs. Steenkamp, or Warrant Officer Steenkamp, puts that in her affidavit. That does not come from Ms. Warrant Officer Steenkamp. The information comes from Kelly. Now, Kelly is again one of those witnesses that are mentioned in the list of witnesses in terms of Section 144 of the Criminal Procedure Act. Mrs. Steenkamp again is also one of those witnesses who's also mentioned in the list of state witnesses. I'm not so sure whether the state, by leading this information, is going to request to the court that it should be admitted provisionally, pending the calling of these two witnesses, my lord. I just need the clarity from the state.
That's it.
As a court, please, my lord. None other than the defense handed up Exhibit J. The state didn't hand it up. It's the defense that handed it up. They cross-examined at length.
Which is
on the contents.
Yeah, which is Exhibit J, so that everybody can see it.
Exhibit. There's the report of Warrant Officer Steenkamp.
So it was handed up by the state. By the defense.
Yes.
Is that what you are saying?
Yes. It was handed up by the defense. They cross-examined at length. They referred to the contents thereof. In fact, the contents thereof were traversed through various witnesses. And not only one witness, my lord, but as far as we remember, various witnesses. When we dealt with hearsay evidence yesterday, my lord, the hearsay act stipulates that the party against whom hearsay evidence is to be used can consent thereto, you know. But what other inference, my lord, can be made from the fact that the defense, out of their own accord, handed up this exhibit? Other than that, they consent thereto, my lord. It cannot be that they use the exhibit when it suits them, but when it doesn't suit them, my lord, they object thereto. But it's an exhibit that is before court, and we submit, my lord, that Brigadier Ginina can refer to that exhibit.
Okay.
Thank you, Brigadier. Do you have...
I'm not sure, my lord, whether I need to reply.
I don't know. If you want to reply, you can reply.
But we need the guidance from the court. Then the court simply says okay, and then we don't know what does okay mean.
No, I've noted...
That seems to be unprocedural, my lord.
Please, Mr. Mnisi.
Yes.
Don't insult me.
No, I'm not insulting you, my
Please.
lord. I'm expecting the court to invite, if we've got a reply to what the state responded to, and the court simply says okay.
Yes, but Mr. Baloyi has said you handed up that exhibit.
Yes.
What more must I do? What more must I do?
What does procedure say, my lord? if there's an objection, there's a response, is there not supposed to be a reply?
I've got two versions, in other words, before me, so the court will decide.
No, it's fine, I'll sit down, man.
Yeah, we'll decide which version.
No, I'll sit down.
A whole complete stalemate. The thing here is Mnisi Wemvula, someone called him the provisional entry inspector. Is the exhibit being entered provisionally, and now he's the inspector of everything provisionally. If the state is handing up, it better be provisional, or else where is that witness? When are they coming? And don't it. But here's the thing. Mnisi has decided to hold the bull by its horns, okay? And he does not care. At this point, he has thrown in the towel. They're in the ring. The judge is in the arena. And so Mnisi did the objection. And the objection was, can you clarify, Baloyi, if this is going to be provisional? And Baloyi is like, what are you talking about? You guys are the ones who handed up the report, Exhibit J, by Warrant Officer Steenkamp. And then you guys cross-examined it at length various times. And then Mnisi says, so then, Baloyi and Kinenda, they continue without even acknowledging Mnisi. And Mnisi goes, oh, no. What we're not going to do is ignore me. And then he procedurally, asks my lord, I'm not so sure if my lord, if I need to reply. And the judge says, I don't know. If you want to reply, you can reply. And Mnisi goes, that's not how it works. Okay. Don't play with me, okay? You are the judge. You've got to, at some point, have some leadership skills, my lord. And you know what? I happen to agree with Mnisi. This judge has no leadership skills. And when is the best day that we can use as a huge example of this judge's lack of leadership skills? We won't even talk about his lack of professionalism. Like, we've beat that horse down over and over again. But the day where he showed his lack of leadership skills is when Dr. Petty decided he was putting all tools down and he was no longer going to be an operator And the cross-examination could not continue of Umabasa because there was no way to beam the photos onto the screen. And what did the judge do? He just sat there as if he was saying, not my monkey, not my circus, although it's your courtroom. It's your courtroom, and in the interest of justice, we members of the public jury, we're watching you just sit there and say, well, I'm not going to say anything because if I say anything, I'm going to be called a racist. That is your worry right now, not the justice for SENZO MEYIWA. Your worry is what people are going to call you, Obondaba, to be precise. And do you know who did a fantastic job of not reporting that at all, anywhere? The mainstream media, the ones who were inside Pagati within, who could see these lack of projections, these visualizations, these selfies being taken, the ones who could have reported live breaking news for us to tell us what exactly happened. Nope, no reporting anywhere. So do you see the lack of leadership? It just continues to grow. And as a result, I do not blame Mnisi for his outburst. I know that some of you would have a different opinion, but it is the judge's fault. And it is a build-up. Remember, it's from last week, Friday. We're not even going to count all the other incidences. For example, the humiliation Mnisi endured for requesting to go to the comrades race. Actually, he wasn't requesting to go to the comrades race. He was requesting not to be in court on Monday because he'll be coming back from the comrades race. Since that day, it's just been building up. It's just been a build-up. And then they didn't take their recess. So, you know how the human body is. The human body anticipates that break. Like, okay, I'm gonna be on leave. We're gonna be on recess. And then you don't take the recess. We are not privy to the conversation where they decided to stay for an additional 2 weeks. I've said it yesterday. I'll say it again. I don't think this was a good idea. Except, though, it works positively when it comes to Ramsipili, because there's a fire that has been lit in him and that I'm absolutely enjoying, and I'm going to do a breakdown of his cross-examination. But if you notice, there's just so many incy-wincy little things that are happening. So my videos are a little bit slow, so excuse that. But I'm gonna get to the cross-examinations of Mnisi and also of Ramsipili. But all I have to say, guys, is this is incredible. This is incredible what we're seeing happening right before our eyes. What more if this was a courtroom without cameras? What kind of behavior would judge be doing? At this point, he would be dancing on tables. So Mnisi tells the judge that seems to be unprocedural. And instead of the judge quoting the law, explaining to Mnisi his reasons for doing that, he immediately says, Mnisi, don't insult me. Because that's the kind of judge we have, a very, very highly defensive man. So his first reaction is to put up that wall, be defensive, and then at the end of the day, it just turned out into a confrontation. And at the end of this all, Mnisi says, I'm just going to sit down. And the judge says, you do just that. He didn't say that verbally, but his attitude was that, which is quite unfortunate. The judge says, I've got two versions before me. In other words, the court will decide, aka I'm the Alpha and I'm the Omega. Nobody tells me what to do. I heard your version, I heard his version, and I will decide. Someone in the comment section said, let's just skip through all this cross-examination and allow the judge to just go ahead and read his judgment, and then we can just move forward to the appeals court. Because what are we doing? What are we doing here? What do you call this? I'm going to end this here. Let me know your thoughts on this stalemate. That's what I'm going to call it. A literal stalemate between Mnisi Wemvula and Judge Rata. Yeah, what do you call it? For me, it's a stalemate and definitely lack of professionalism on the judge. Mnisi, I would say a little bit of emotional control would have been appreciated. But at the same time, I understand where he is coming from. Because if you watch this from the beginning and don't watch this as an isolated incident, this is what Brigadier Gininda likes to say. Okay, he can't just respond from an isolated incident. He's got to build the story. And then he gives us a 6-minute introduction to his answer. Same thing applies here. You cannot look at this incident all on its own and react to it and say that Mnisi was out of line. You've got to look at the bigger picture, what caused him to get to this amount of frustration. And I've expressed to you guys how much Mnisi's emotional intelligence has improved since him and Gininda last year and him and Gininda this year, as of the 19th of May 2025. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. I definitely want to hear what you guys think of this exchange of words, legal words. Thanks for watching. If you've made it this far in the video, you absolutely have my heart, okay? I really appreciate you. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe, share. Like, comment, subscribe, share. Like, comment, subscribe, share. Do I have to say it another time just to get you to hit that like? Everything is free to do. However, if you do decide to financially support the channel, hit that join button. I absolutely love it when I see new members, and I love it when I see your membership levels change color. When I see them change color, and it just shows me that you're here, you're supporting, and I love you. Thank you. Bye.